What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we have got a Need for Speed video. Funnily enough, it's not about Need for Speed 2015 for once. It's actually just going to be about, Need for Speed as a whole. Why do you guys like Need for Speed in a way? What are your favourite games and all that kind of stuff. We're just going to be rambling on about Need for Speed in general. This is kind of more of a discussion video more than anything else. I want you guys to comment down below. Let me know what you think of what I'm discussing. We're going to be talking mainly about what your favourite Need for Speeds are, why, which ones you've played, and that kind of stuff. So basically, when you're watching this video, just get your comment ready. So just click on that comment box and reply as you're watching through the video, and then obviously post it once you're at the end. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the first thing is on the agenda is, what is your guys' favourite Need for Speed and why? Now, for me, it's Underground 2. It just edges it over Most Wanted 2005. Between those two games, it's such a hard choice, but Underground 2 just edges it. And I think the reason why is A, because it was the first Need for Speed which I just kind of fell into. Like, before then I'd played Hot Pursuit 2 and Underground 1, and both absolutely amazing games. I've spent hundreds of hours on each respective game, but Underground 2, it just kind of, those two games started the addiction, and then Underground 2 hooked me in. And then Most Wanted 2005 was like, you know what, you're screwed. There's no way out of this hole you just dig yourself in. At least that's how I see it. Everything in Underground 2, especially for the time in 2004, the graphics were amazing, the gameplay was solid, the cars for the time were great, having only tuners was amazing, the customization for the time again was amazing, watching Pimp My Ride and watching them do all this stuff to the boots and whatnot, and then actually going and doing it in game was so fucking cool. I can't explain. Just for the time, and I can still go back to it nowadays and have fun. Like, I still believe Underground 2 had the best handling model out of all the Need for Speeds. And you're probably saying to yourself, oh, it didn't change much. It did, like, it really did. Like, in Underground 2, you were really rewarded for driving, like, you were rewarded for driving almost cleanly in a way. I'm not talking about obviously taking other people out and whatnot. I'm talking in the sense that if you hit a traffic car, you would slow down significantly. As where in Most Wanted 2005, if you hit a traffic car, you'd kind of carry on going because that's how it kind of needed to be. Because if you're in a pursuit and you hit a traffic car by accident, you don't want to be full on stopped, because then the police are going to catch you really easily. So it's kind of little subtle differences you'll notice, if you play these games a lot, like a lot. You might think you played them a lot, but you won't notice these subtle differences unless you put days into the games. And I did. So, like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I put a lot of hours into these games. But I think Underground 2 just edged it. I think the point where Most Wanted kind of fell down was its police. Its police were the greatest thing and the worst thing at the same time. A, it made it impossible to free roam, which I felt was really annoying, because at the time, I really, and still nowadays, I just love to free roam every now and then, and I couldn't really do that, so that was kind of a bit of a bummer. And then in addition to that, and there's a few other things, like, they didn't have, like, I would have hoped for more tuners in a way as well. I mean, having more than just an RX-7 and an RX-8 and some Subarus would have been nice. I know there was quite a few in all fairness, and I know the 350Z was actually scrapped before release. But obviously that would have been nice if that was possible, but I guess you can't have everything. And a few other things. I think the story in Most Wanted was the best story we've ever seen in a racing game. I also think the iconic, Beamer, the M3 GTR, is the most iconic car we've ever had in any game, period. Like, when you think of an iconic racing car, you think of the M3 GTR. I don't think of any other game besides Most Wanted 2005 when I'm thinking of an iconic car. But I think Underground 2 just edges it for its limitless customization. Like, there was so much you could do in that game, and I like the ability to change the front bumper, the back bumper, the side bumper. In Most Wanted, it was the whole body kit as a whole, which was obviously, you couldn't change that. But I think Underground 2 just edges it for little things, like nothing too huge. So that's the first thing, what is your favourite Need for Speed and why? And then my second question is, what was the Need for Speed that started it off for you? What game did you start playing and, you loved? Because if you didn't love that game, you wouldn't be here today and you wouldn't have carried on playing the games. Now, for me, it was Hot Pursuit 2 on PC. It was not the black box version. It was, I don't know who was it. Was it EA Canada? It was their version on PC. That was the first ever Need for Speed game I played. It was an absolute great game. Like, a lot of people don't think about this when they think of me. They don't think I like the Hot Pursuit games. but fucking hell, Hop Shoot 2 was an amazing game, especially on PC where it was the weaker console. Like, I heard on the PS2 version, I have played the PS2 version, and I can confirm that is a lot better than the PC version, and even then the PC version for me was absolutely fucking phenomenal. I absolutely love that copy of the game, and so many hours into the game. So like, when you guys are thinking that I am a tuner fanboy, I'm really not. Like, I like all the games. I still think Hop Shoot 2010 is one of the best Need for Speeds to date, but like overall, Hop Shoot 2 in 2002 was a fucking great game. It was so good, and that's definitely started the addiction. Then Underground took it to a whole new level, and then Underground 2 was just like, you know what, mate, I've had enough. And then my last question is, what was the worst Need for Speed of all time? Now I'm gonna have to, you know, kind of push this down to a selection of 3. So I'm gonna say it's between Shift. I'm gonna say Shift is a series because I could put both of them in this countdown. Shift, Undercover, and Carbon. Now explain. And these opinions are probably going to change in the future, so just don't think because I'm making this now I don't like it in the future sort of thing. These opinions are going to change, so I'm going to explain why those are my 3 like most disappointing, I guess. They're not the worst, but they were definitely the most disappointing. So I'll start off with Carbon. For me, Carbon, it really underperformed. I was expecting a game where, you know, it was Most Wanted 2005 with... It was basically Most Wanted 2005 at night. That was what I was expecting. Instead, it wasn't really that, because the police didn't have any purpose in the game besides the story. Like, you didn't have to go into pursuit to win the game. It was just kind of there to be there, really. I think that mixed with a very short story, like an extremely short story, really hindered the game, and I was so disappointed in 2006. You know, especially back then, me being a huge Need for Speed fan, and still to this day being a huge Need for Speed fan, I still look at that game and I see disappointment. Like, I had so much potential, but you know, the police just being a straight up nuisance, and they didn't do anything, annoyed me. And then on top of that, I don't know, I just didn't feel it. Like, the soundtrack, again, like I was always listening to that stupid classical score, wasn't listening to the licensed soundtrack. I hated that. I think overall Carbon was just a disappointment for me. You know, the handbrake was just way, it just didn't feel right at all. And I think overall that game was just a huge disappointment to me. It's not necessarily the worst, but it's definitely one of the most disappointing I've ever seen from Need for Speed thus far. Undercover, looking back on it, Undercover was a great game, but for the time in 2009, I think it was, oh no, 2008, sorry, it was very disappointing. Especially for PS3, the game was extremely buggy. The city felt dead. Again, police were kind of a bit of a nuisance, but unlike Carbon, they made sense. So I can kind of understand why they're in the game, because they actually had like a gameplay aspect where they made sense. Because you obviously had to do the bounty runs and whatnot. And overall, I was just expecting more. I think the main reason I was disappointed from Undercover was because it wasn't a very good port to PS3. I think if I went back to it now, it would feel a lot better, but I still don't think that takes away from the fact that the free roam was just dead. You know, the free roam's awful in that game. And then obviously Shift, and it just wasn't the same. Like, Shift was not Need for Speed in my opinion. It was trying to, you know, kind of come up against Forza and whatnot, but in my opinion, Need for Speed is an arcade racing game, and it always will be. And that's just how I see it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys made those comments that I was asking for, and let's see, you know, what you guys have got to say down in the comments down below. I'm entitled to... I was going to say something extremely wordy there, but I'm not going to say it now. I'm just going to end the video right here. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button and do all the other social media stuffs that you know you guys should do. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Peace.